Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Manhattan Theatre Club presents the American premiere of James Graham's new play, Ink. Under the direction of Rupert Gould, it welcomes back to the New York stage Bertie Carvel and Jonny Lee Miller. It will open on April 24th at the Samuel J. Friedman Theatre, and we drop by the rehearsal room to meet the company.
I mean, I think the form of this play is a bit like its subject matter. It takes something that could be preachy, worthy, well-intentioned, but sort of high-minded, and remakes it in a, let's say, tabloid format. You know, something that is fun, that is innovative, that is punchy, that is punky, that's kind of iconoclastic. And he's done that here. So he's making an argument that I think is, you know, feel more relevant and urgent, but doing it with great showmanship. And, you know, Rupert's production is just, you know, as you would expect from him, a breath of fresh air.
For me to do a play, I just feel it's really you need to. It's a one read thing. It's like if you love it on the first read, then it's that I could potentially do it, and that's what happened. And I thought it was very funny and very interesting, and I think it really investigates a world and demysticizes it, and also takes the sort of sinister element out of it. Really, for me, I had a relationship like my own growing up with the Sun newspaper, but it was very different when it started, and you know, I thought it was really interesting to understand how things came about and why people made the decisions that they do, and there's no bad guys in our play, you know, I feel.
Building this play with Rupert in London, it was such a thrill to see it do so well and to connect with an audience there. But I never imagined when I was writing it that it would necessarily come to New York. So it's great, you know, you have some of the smartest audience in the world here. I hope they're hungry for a play that is you know, politically engaged, trying to understand the impact of how news and journalism and the broadcast media is affecting our conversations, our cultural conversations and our politics. But also we unapologetically want to create a really good night out at the theatre. It's sort of, you know, there's dance, there's jokes, there's humour, there's comedy, there's larger than life characters. So I'm hoping that mix will really connect with the New York house.
Rupert, for you.
I feel like I've been lucky enough to jump across the Atlantic a few times in the last few years, and I think the really amazing, almost perplexing thing is like the Brits are so in awe and enthralled of American drama, and we've just opened a new Anne Washburn play at the Almeida, and The Inheritance was a big hit, and Angels in America, and yet when I come here I feel there's such an appetite for British work. And when we were lucky enough to bring King Charles III here a couple of years ago, Mike Bartlett's play, I found the American response to the British institutions really fascinating. Maybe being outside it gives them a sort of greater pleasure in it. And I think this play is totally different, but maybe might have the same sort of thrill. It's a uniquely English evening, but I think the way it talks to ideas of what the press are for, about populism, about leadership, about iconoclasm, and about the 60s as an era, I think will really, really appeal to a Broadway audience. So yeah, we're very excited.
Being in the room with Rupert Gould, what is that like?
He is so great. He's so generous. He never stops smiling. Have you noticed that? Not once. So you always feel like it's okay, everything's going okay, and he's also just brilliant. So
yes, yes to all of those things. It's just great to be in the room and just to listen. I've listened a lot.
And Rupert and James, the playwright, are so willing to hear your ideas and try to be a team member. You're a part of the team with them, and they're rewriting and changing, and so it's not like we're recreating the West End production. We're doing our own show, you know. Here, it's really lovely.
There's obviously some research to do on these people, or is it all just in the script? Like, how did you approach this?
A bit of both. Mostly it is in the script. We're lucky that we're playing real people. Mine's a bit of a composite of other characters, so there was a lot out there to draw from. But I try and read as much as I can, but then really you just what's on the page is the most.
No, it's very true. I think that the play itself really has taught us more about as much as we need to know about the characters. And our characters actually, well, mine wasn't, yours more so, because she went on to prominence, right? But mine was, he was kind of just more of a workhorse, and so to find out more about him online and stuff was actually quite difficult. He did write a couple books that I have and I'm reading right now, so, but you know, that's as much as we can do. Yeah.
Who do you each play?
I play Diana, the astrologer, among a couple of other roles. I play Anna Murdoch too.
Can you tell us anything about the astrologer?
The astrologer it's so interesting. So many people in this cast know about astrology, but the astrologer is kind of flying by the seat of her pants. Like she's really young. She's just trying to figure it out. I love her.
But Rupert Murdoch believed in astrology, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And she has some influence over him, doesn't she?
Well, historically, they manipulated Rupert Murdoch's mood by the astrology report that she developed. Yeah.
Who do you play?
I play Bernard Shrimsley, who was the deputy editor and managing editor, and fascinating character, actually. He would go into the composing room, and he would sing something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone. It's comedy tonight because he loved how silly the industry of tabloid journalism was. Loved his job. Son of a tailor and extremely precise and forced to produce an extremely ugly newspaper, which The Sun became.
And I play Sir Alec Mackay, who's a fellow Australian compatriot with Rupert Murdoch, plays as deputy chairman. So the colonials are coming back to roost. They're taking over the British press, which is what happened. This is the start of all that.
I play Stephanie Ron, who was the first Page 3 model.
What is that like? So I remember going to London as a kid, like in high school, and getting The Sun, and I was like, oh, I'm going to read different stuff, and then you see these models all over this newspaper.
Yeah, I lived in London, and I was actually in dance school there, and I remember some of the girls in my school wanted to be that, and so it was interesting to explore it and to see it come back around here in America, and I was like, oh wow, this is it. You know, it definitely changed my mind on things just playing this character.
Michael, who do you play?
I play Hugh Cudlip, who's the chairman of the Mirror Group, and I sold The Sun to Rupert Murdoch originally. So, yeah, we were the sort of the liberal left-wing press, and it's from us that Rupert bought The Sun and turned it into the largest selling newspaper in the world.
Who do you play?
I play Beverly Goodway, who is the photographer for The Sun. So he gets pretty lucky, I think, taking pictures of all the Page 3 girls, as his previous photography job was in a morgue, taking pictures of dead bodies. So, I think that's an upgrade for Beverly.